can you recover from childhood emotional neglect? If your parents ignored you, if your parents had no expectations, or indeed extremely high expectations, if they didn't meet your needs, if they diminished you, you could be suffering from childhood emotional neglect. Keep watching, and I'm going to tell you what it is, but even more importantly, how you can get over it. What is childhood emotional neglect? Well, first of all, don't confuse it with abuse. Abuse is often intentional. Abuse is from people who have lost control. Emotional neglect is parents who actually don't even realize. So a very pushy parent who's pushing you to do something you don't want to do, a parent who's not tuned into your feelings. Emotional neglect is unintentional. Abuse can be very intentional. After all, a parent who has a strap in the house to hit their kid, with a parent who locks their child in the room for hours and hours, who deprives them of food, that's intentional. Emotional neglect is often unintentional. It's really when our needs are not met, our needs are invalidated, our needs are ignored. It's when our parents respond inappropriate to emotions. They say, well, don't be silly, that's not important. When you come and say, Mum, I'm being bullied, and they go, oh, toughen up, you'll get over it. Mum, I don't have any friends. Well, read books, it doesn't matter. Mum, Dad is mean to me. He's mean to everyone, he's having a hard time. The problem is that children have needs, and their needs are very clear. I need to be loved, I need to be safe, I need to be protected, I need to feel significant, I need to matter. And when a parent does not meet their child's needs, something terrible happens. The child believes, oh, my needs just aren't important, my needs don't get met. The child gives up the need, or they give the need away, but they kind of accept very early on, I'm not important enough to have my needs met, I don't matter. Once we buy into that lie, I don't matter, my needs come last, my needs not important, we begin all kinds of other issues. So what are the signs of emotional neglect in children? They can be very angry and aggressive, they can be incredibly withdrawn, they can be sad, they often don't participate in games or in play, they can be very, very clingy. They can really act out. They often are anxious. They maybe have things like insomnia, nail biting, bedwetting, skin picking, pulling out their eyelashes, pulling out their hair. They often have low confidence and low self-esteem, and they often find it hard to make and maintain friendships. And adults can have all those symptoms, but they have other symptoms too, like PTSD, emotional numbness. Again, they can act out, they can find they have problems with intimacy and relationships. They may have many different addictions, from an eating disorder, to being an alcoholic, to being a drug addict, to being a sex addict or a shopaholic. So an addiction often stems from this emotional neglect, because people who are neglected emotionally form a belief, I'm not enough. And when you buy into the I am not enough, and you should do more of something, more sex, more drugs, more food, more alcohol, more shopping, more hoarding, you name it. There are many signs of adults who've suffered as a child with emotional neglect. So how do we heal from childhood emotional neglect? One of the most fascinating things I see as a therapist is people who make it normal. My dad never spoke to me, but that was okay, you see, he didn't like children. My mum was never there, I had to raise myself, but you see, my mum was depressed. One of my clients said, my dad kicked me out of the house when I was a kid, and he never let me go back, but you see, I didn't get on with my mother. My granddad interfered with me, but you see, my grandmother wouldn't touch him, and therefore he needed love. It really alarms me when clients normalize abuse, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse. Well, they couldn't help it. They were sad, they were unhappy, they were depressed. It was my fault. One of my clients said, I was too much. My mom said, you're too much, you're too much, you're too much. Too demanding, too noisy, too needy. And I thought, oh, I better be really quiet and ask for nothing. So this is what happens when our needs aren't met. We begin to feel I shouldn't have any needs. And the first thing to do is do not normalize it. Go back and don't say, well, my mum hit me a lot, but she was unhappy. My dad smashed up the house, but he had this drinking gene. He couldn't help it. My uncle touched me, but he was very lonely, and it was my fault for being attractive. I was running around in my bikini. I guess he couldn't help it. Do not normalize someone else's behavior. Take a breath, take a minute, take some time and go, okay, this happened to me, and it was not okay. Sometimes clients come and they go, I need to forgive everyone. I said, yeah, that's going to be the last thing you do, not the first. We're not going to forgive people yet. We're going to go through what happened. We're going to do some dialogue with a hurt. We're going to make you see it was not okay. You didn't ask for it. You didn't deserve it. Just because your dad worked nights and you made a noise and he hit you, it's not your fault. Children aren't supposed to be, that's like getting puppies and going, well, they keep jumping up and down. They've got to sit still and be very quiet. If you want something quiet, have a goldfish. Don't have children or pets. So do not normalize what happened to you. Go back and take a look and say, this wasn't normal. It wasn't okay. I did not deserve that. I'm a great believer that you cannot heal what you cannot feel. Years ago when I was trained to be a therapist, someone said to me, wow, your family, they sound like the craziest family I've ever heard of. I went, what, my family? My dad was a principal. My mum was so beautiful. We literally lived in a house with a white picket fence. I went, no, your family was crazy. When I looked at that, I thought, actually they were. And I should stop denying and pretending that I had an idyllic childhood. I didn't. I didn't have an awful, horrible, horrendous childhood, but it also wasn't normal. And when I came to terms with that, I could start healing from it, making sense of it. So do not live in denial. Don't normalize it. Don't make it okay. Don't start forgiving everyone and playing happy families. Not yet. First of all, go back and take a look at it. Take a look at what happened to you, because when you understand it, understanding is power. When you go, oh, I see. That's why I do that. That's why I think that. For years, I never understood why I'd go into a relationship planning the ending, making the ending come about earlier, till I looked at my childhood and saw, oh, I see, that's where that came from. When I looked at it, made sense of it, I then stopped that behavior. And now I've been married for 12 years, and it's wonderful because I had to see what was going on to fix it. So you need to validate the trauma, not have a pity part of yourself, say, oh, this happened to me, and the effect it had on me was this, but now I see that. When I was 6, my mum was out all night, and I learned to fear being alone, and that made me very needy. But hey, I'm not 6. I can be on my own. In fact, I can love my own company. So I can understand where this neediness came from. I attached myself to anyone rather than be alone, because at 6 I was dependent. At 36 I'm independent. I don't have to attach myself to anyone. I love my own company. That's how it works. Oh, I see. Validate what happened, make sense of it, understand the triggers it brought up in me, and then free myself from them. So now you can practice self-care. You can tell yourself something better. I'm okay on my own. In fact, I choose aloneness rather than being with the wrong person. Just because we lived on cupcakes and Pop-Tarts doesn't mean I can't now give myself green juices and fresh fruit and super healthy stuff. Also put in place boundaries. If your parents are still dysfunctional and still diminish you, see them less and do not let their critical behavior in. Keep your distance. And that may just mean keep your distance emotionally. Of course you have to see elderly, frail parents, but they still say, oh, well, you were such a disappointment. Well, you were never very bright. You were never going to amount to anything. Of course you're on your own. Who's going to marry you? One of my clients said her dad said, if anyone asked to marry you, snap them up, because you've got nothing to offer the world. In fact, you're just like your mother, a huge disappointment. And she blew up like a balloon the minute she got pregnant too, and you've done the same thing. And that's so cruel. And I said, well, you have to say to your father, excuse me, If you say that again, I will not come. If you say that again, I'm leaving the house. I will not tolerate. This is abuse. I won't allow it. So you have to create boundaries. And when they go, oh, I've always spoken to everyone like that, that's their problem. I will not allow you to diminish me like that. I won't allow you to disrespect me. After all, you don't need your elderly parents. They need you. It changes. The needy child going, Mummy, Daddy, please love me, becomes a grown-up whose parents need them. You know, my mother didn't seem that interested in me when I was a kid at all. But when she was older, all she wanted was me. Please come and visit. I'd go. She goes, when are you coming back? I'm like, I've just been. I know, but can you come back tomorrow? Mum, it's a 3-hour drive. I know, but I need you. I remember thinking, gosh, I wanted her attention so much. Now I've got it. I actually don't really want all this attention because it's too much. I loved my mother, but I didn't want to have to see her every day, to be her port of call, the person she rang for everything. But when I was 5, I would have loved that. So remember, you did need them. You needed them to approve of you and love you. You were a dependent child, and now they need you, and you don't really need them. And you can see them from duty, from kindness, from care, but do it with healthy boundaries. And be kind to yourself. Kindness is so important. Be nice to yourself. Like Adele says, go easy on you. Make it easy on yourself. Go easy on me. Be nice, be kind, be patient, be loving. Become your own best friend. Become your own cheerleader. Say, you're doing great. You're doing amazing. You're a good person. You had emotional neglect. The opposite of that is to be praised, to be nourished, to be nurtured. It is never too late, ever, to start doing that yourself. When you are the person that delivers to you praise, nurturing, nourishment, and love, you know what's so good about that? It can never be taken when someone else does it. I found this person, they've given me everything I need. They might remove it one day. But when you're the person, it's always there. And when you fill yourself up with love and praise and nourishment, it makes you whole. And then you can attract an amazing relationship, not being needy, but being self-contained, secure within yourself, self-trusting with high self-esteem. So give yourself the praise, the nourishment, the love, the support, the encouragement that you didn't get as a child. And no one can do that better than you. And if you want to seek help from a therapist, go to rtt.com. We have phenomenal, highly trained, highly skilled therapists all over the world that can help you be the very best version of you. They can give you freedom and empowerment from your past. You can find them at rtt.com. I trained all of them, and I can promise you, I can guarantee you'll be in very good hands. Check out my next video here.